really well. So, has everybody got their sheet music with them?
Yes.
Yeah? Let's just write these things down to remind ourselves, because you're having a scare. Alright, so, with your pens and pencils now, if you just make some notes for ourselves, when we hit chorus at B, bar 5, where are we at with story?
Sarah, in the brown zippy thing, Sarah.
We are at hope and possibility. And we are running down no S's. Emily says no to S's.
Carrie, do you have a spare pen? Sorry.
Of course.
Thank you. Alright, we'll work it out.
Faces are circling your embellishment on a stranger in bar 8, because you are going to sing it like you are Leeds. Faces, you no longer have a pickup on and in bar 12. You're coming in everywhere else, so you have a rest. For everyone, the breath of bar 12 is into secret, and somehow you know even then. And then we're transitioning through that phrase into the next section, which is from bar 21, thrill, excitement. This is a tangible, a real possibility. And with that we have a moderate to high dynamic, so full day dynamics person.
What is that about?
21. That's a tangible possibility. Then, bases, you're going to circle bar 23. And the fact that you have a pickup there before everyone else comes in.
Sorry,
Cool.
sorry.
That's okay. Did we need to recap from the beginning?
Yes, please.
B, chorus, bar 5. Page 1. Those who've written it down can tell us. What are the notes from bar 5?
No,
Possibility. Hope and possibility, no S.
And vowel to vowel work.
Vowel to vowel, absolutely, always. Well, I won't worry about repeating the base note there. When you hit bar 12, which is on page 2, secret. Breathing into secret in bar 12. So you're there by the time you start singing, not afterwards. You breathe into and somehow know.
All together, they're not that one base, they're all together.
Oh, and I actually didn't mention before, bar 18, making sure nobody takes a breath between and again, and that you extend that and vowel. All right, then we're at bar 21. What's the note for bar 21? Tangible possibility.
And resonant. 21.
Resonance, always pulse, excellent. So it's got a slightly more tempo feel here. And basses are circling their downbeat in bar 23.
The bases should not breathe between 22 and 23, is that correct?
They do not have a chorus breath note. And
I didn't
then,
give you a breath there, did I, on the base note? I did I?
oh,
No, that was a bad one. Bad
mean
one.
coach is going to take that away from you guys. No breath allowed.
Where was that?
That's for basses. Beginning of bar 23, if you are not a bass, you still get breath.
Perfect.
All basses are going to need lots of PVs because they get all the pickups.
Yeah.
Speaking of bass pickups, bar 28, basses and tenors, circle and. You're coming in on the downbeat bar. I believe that is a quick breath.
We're taking a breath while everyone else holds the room.
Are you talking about 28 now? Yeah.
I'd be more inclined to make that a chorus breath. And to have everyone breathe at the same time, tenors and basses come in with just a quick breath rather than that being staggered.
So you reckon not have the end on its own again?
I reckon have it on its own, but I would avoid staggered chorus breaths That is at the end of bar 27. My recommendation is, and of course, you can scrap anything I say out today, just advice, but my recommendation is that you all cut off room at the same time, 27. There's a very quick breath for tenors and basses, and night after for the other parts.
Okay.
Rather than static breaths, it's quite difficult to execute
Yeah.
those. What's our performance note for bar 28? Where are we at story-wise? Fantasy. And that whatever breath you are doing, you are breathing to fantasy world. And then over the course of those phrases, we're getting carried off into our dreams. We do not have a chorus breath between night and as in bar 30. We do get a breath after seems, but we will make sure that we sing right through to that breath and swell on seams, and the S, final S of seams is right at the end of fourth breath. Basses, you're going to circle your dreams where you're going to have an authoritative entry despite the dynamic. And then other three parts, if you circle your in your dreams embellishment, you're going to continue with the energy that the basses have brought you. That time, they gave you this really soft, warm hug of an energy, and then it wasn't, I'm going to exaggerate, but then it was a little in your dreams. So what we want is whatever the bass is set up for you, that's what you continue. Yeah? So mark that however it's going to help you. That's 35, 36, yep. And then C, we said that really this is our moment of self-doubt. Write down self-doubt, questioning, maybe even vulnerability. And then we have another transition feel at bar 41, page 4. Fools give you reasons. What
We do
word?
have a breath after reasons. Yeah. Yeah.
After reasons, yep. Now what word do we want here for, we've gone from questioning, vulnerable.
You said it was a pivot.
Yeah, pivoting into, what were you thinking of that last run? Because whatever you were thinking of there worked really well. Declaration, yeah. And I think we'd said before, maybe even a little bit of dismissal.
Yeah.
So put declaration, dismissal. There's that pivot into bar 41. And then I write something like emphatic or insistent over bar 44. If you were non-lead, doing the repeat of never, never try, there's got to be a reason that you were repeating that word never. Alright, I'm sure I've missed something. Are there any other things we've talked about today that you think would be useful to note down and useful for others?
That sort of dynamic is there for about 44, is it quite loud, right?
It's a really good question. So, if we go back through and just mark some dynamics for the whole thing.
What's the question? It is that position. It's a minor. It's the climax of the song.
Yeah. So if we just go back through, for those who really like having dynamic levels in mind, for page 1, chorus 1, we're at I would say, a middling dynamic, a 5 out of 10, or a high mezzo piano for section B. Then you come back down to a softer dynamic at bar 12, to a true mezzo piano, maybe a 3 out of 10. That's bar 12. And then there's a gradual crescendo over the course of that page, up to bar 21, which is a moderately confident dynamic. I'd say a 6 or 7 out of 10, a mezzo forte, that's bar 21. And bar 28, as we come back down to fantasy land, make that a softer dynamic, 3 out of 10, mezzo piano. And you continue to decrescendo to a safe volume by the end in your dreams. Write down the number out of 10 that you know you can reach while still maintaining good vocal production. Whatever number that is to you, whatever it is.
What bar was that, sorry?
That is the embellishment in 35, 36. The safest, lowest dynamic for you that's still well supported. Then, who can back to a mezzo piano, a moderate dynamic, maybe a 5 out of 10. While you're questioning, you've got some vulnerability there. Then the transition into 41, I'd say, is more of a mezzo forte. It's a bit emphatic, isn't it? So it's naturally with your attention that you chose, going to come up a little bit more. Maybe make that a 6 out of 10, and then I'd say you are going to, as you get more insistent on never try, that is all going to be a crescendo. And you want that to be the biggest, the high point.
Yeah.
So with that, write the dynamic number out of 10 that is, again, safest for you to aim for without risking over-singing. Usually that is not 10 out of 10. So we want to avoid any pushback. Yeah, this is where I find we're doing dynamics just so you get the sense of the contrast, but over time, that's just to get that muscle memory. The thing that's most helpful to think about in performance is that at that point, not that you're aiming for a 8.5 out of 10 or whatever, but that you are insistent. That's the most helpful thing there. Yeah. All right. Any other questions or things that we've mentioned today that would be helpful for you to mark down? Anything I've forgotten?
I think that was a very good way for you to finish up telling us, like, we've got it all, you guys like to write stuff down, that's really awesome. I would like just 5 minutes, because we've only got about 10 minutes.
Yes.
All right.
How time flies.
I think it went so fast, didn't it? Yes. I really appreciate you coming because I know how you must have been so tired after the
No problem at all.
let's see what happens. So
I hope that's helpful because that gives you a base to then layer on similarly for the rest of the.
and I'm glad we didn't spend too much time on the end, which we're still getting to know. Because we'd be wasting our time on that sort of stuff. We don't need to work hard at home on that, and also remembering that when you are working at home, that you're singing against the other parts, so that you know where you are on those bits where everyone's coming in. You don't have to rely on me again. Okay, so that's good. But what I wanted to actually ask you about, and Tracy's put some effort into this, so I really want to make sure that we encompass this. So this is to do with vision as well.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
So Tracy, just so that we can show Emily what our vision is for that part where the bubble is.
Yeah,
Do
so
you mind?
it's where we've just finished there. Had night after night, as strange as it seems, the sound of their laughter. This next phrase, we'll sing in your dreams. The idea is that you look up to your dream bubble, your dream space, your dream. Whether that is, what I'd like help with Emily with is whether that is this side looks over to that dream space and this side looks over to that dream space, or do we go up to our own side dream space?
Honest opinion, all of them are a musical risk
They are.
because your director can't
Yes.
on an S.
Okay.
Can we all move just above the, like just above?
Yeah. Yeah. And this is simply again,
Yeah.
no right or wrong, good or bad. It's just choices. I'd say that's because it is such a moment of stillness
Yeah.
in the arrangement and the choices that you're making interp-wise at that moment. I'm not sure how much value add the change in visual line will be compared to the risk of a.
Well, and then following that is it goes from there to the audience with, on the next phrase of who can explain it, who can tell you why. So rather than being at Kerry, we've got up to a dream and then to the audience and then back to Kerry.
And I was going to
Yeah.
come in, and I was going to do up, and then I was going on this singing or doing whatever it is.
Yeah.
And
But
then I was
it is a risk
It's a
because it is that
risk.
key change, it is
and
that
then
drama.
and then I'm not in front, which is something
It could, but my view is particularly with the rehearsal time you've got left.
yeah.
My view is just risk benefit, that they're moments that you really do need
Direction.
the direction for that, for any S cut off. You know, you're all extremely capable of this, it's not saying you're not, it's just one of those moments that you actually just need to cover. And then setting that who can explain it is going to be so important. That's probably the critical moment for song that you need.
Yes.
Okay, well, we're going to come
So-
up with something nice.
Well, I think, in the future it can maybe happen, but at the moment, for the next couple of rehearsals, we just need to focus.
Yeah.
And make it like a, when you finish something and there's just that stillness.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd say it's one of those
start.
moments that the music and the intent direction you're taking it means that the stillness will do the work for you. It won't need any movement, change of eye line, because what you want is for the audience to be totally there with you at that. And the more you do, the less effective that stillness is. So that would be a moment that you're already doing so beautifully musically, the less is more. Are there any other?
Well, that was
No,
the main
no.
thing I was wanting to do. Well, Tracy had asked me to bring it up because she was wanting to get your advice on it.
With the direction that we're going, just that musical side of things, but also if that next moment is vulnerability, if that next moment is really the biggest moment of doubt and self-questioning, again, you want to sort of maximise that feeling of less, that stillness. You want to do very little there. And it means that then whenever you do add any movement, it's so much more effective. So if you come from a point of stillness, vulnerability, reflection into more musical movement dynamic, and then you stand at the key change, that will be so much more effective coming from.
I understand that. So we've got something to work on now for that growing.
I'm very happy with that.
Good. Oh, that's great. Well, it's 25 past, so it's been a very long day for some people. And Adam, I'm so pleased that you were so good and changing the time, working around that, because what would we have done if we didn't have Emily, because she's just been so amazing. Absolutely amazing. And we just think we had to have you, even if you had to work extra hard.
Before we finish, I'm just really curious and keen to hear if you have, as an individual, any key reflections that you've taken away from today's session. Not necessarily in terms of, notes and things like that, but any reflections, vocally or in terms of other takeaways that you're going to take away from today.
Concentrate on the down beats.
Down beats. Yes?
How important the story is.
Yes. Absolutely. And this is where I'd say you are evidently a very technically accomplished group of singers. And so you don't need to spend as much time as you think you do thinking about the technical elements. And that the more that you come back to story all the time, the more you can just let your vocal skills do their thing. And you can make sure that all your focus every time you have an audience in front of you, and you in fact always have an audience in front of you, you can make sure that you are telling that story every single time. Yeah, perfect. Any other takeaway?
And just remembering that when I'm practicing, if I do some kind of flow and the going from vowel to vowel, that I can go back to just singing the
Like a cat bow to bow.
I didn't hear that.
yeah.
Vowel to vowel singing. So if you're finding that you've got a fair bit of space between words, either in chorus, individual practice, you can go back to singing vowel to vowel to get that raw sound feel, and then just add in some really light consonants. And usually that's enough for the bar.
There's a lot of how the song goes is actually right there on the paper.
Yes.
It's not rocket science, right? You can craft it
Yes.
just from, there's so much on the paper, we kind of go, what are we going to do with this? But a lot of it is on here.
Yes. Yeah. And there's also, at the same time, also so much empowerment for you as an ensemble in the luxury of choice. That you can then take this piece and you can tell your story, your individual story, your ensemble story with the song and the arrangement.
Don't tell my story.
So we're not going to use stories at all. No, it's right out of picture.
Any other takeaways from today?
I love the way you've got us eventually to all come in beautifully in the middle of the note together.
Yes. Starting well is a great way to continue well. And I think so frequently we think to ourselves as in practice at home and in rehearsal that, oh, we'll rep it again, I'll get it that next time, or I'll just kind of come in whenever I can. The importance of starting well is that the way in which you're repping in rehearsal and at home is what you're practicing in. So if you're practicing in then that's what you're going to be practicing in performance. Every rep matters, so starting well matters, and the more that you practice that really accurate note on set, and as you could hear before when I did one that was profoundly out of pitch, we're all working on it all the time, but if you continually practice that at home, and stop and start yourself. Again, don't rely on having a Kerry in front of you going, nah, do it again. When you're practicing at home, you can listen with your own ears and go, yeah, I wasn't really happy with that on set, I'm just going to focus on that for a little while. I'm just going to focus on breath, on set, because the rest of the phrase would be so much easier if you start well every time.
I'm reading a book called Musicality, and there's a whole section. It's like really big on audiation.
Yes.
So even like practicing and looking at your music without like hearing is really important to have that.
But Lisa, now you've said that, I want you to do a little paragraph that you take on the book and send it out to everyone. Alright, send it to me.
Yeah.
Just take what you've got and send me something. I want to send it to the chorus.
Right? Who wrote
Okay.
it?
Oh, it's a guy who's got the musical company, it's a musical union,
Yes.
and he's written it over like with all music teachers.
Oh, fantastic.
And, yeah, it's
Oh,
like an 800 page.
We'll find out and send it to you. But it's fantastic, and thank you so much, Emily, for everything again, and I always get flowers for I just want to say, this is really what I want to know about. Lisa,
Yes.
what have you enjoyed about having a coach? You've never had one before. Oh, I'm a director. Tell me, what did you enjoy?
Oh, it was great just having you like nutting out each bit, and you know your background knowledge. Obviously, you're a range of the piece, so you know it was.
So
very
Lisa's
helpful. I've only just started.
She's just started and she's wonderful. Cam was here and he's a tenor. Tenor, what did you enjoy about having a coach today?
I like just it's a new start for me, so just being able to in detail go through each phrase and work out how this next bit's going to go and what the feeling is in each sentence like that. And yeah, it became more and more cohesive and sound.
Fantastic.
And you've obviously got an extensive singing background.
Yes.
Beautiful tenor.
Oh, thank you.
He has. I'm looking for our Sky. Where's Sky? He's here. Hi, Sky. Sky, our other new lady, who's never done bubble shop before either.
No, and I haven't. And so for me, learning about working with connecting vowels and lots of things, I was brought up with very traditional, every vowel, consonant, all sharp. And, yes. So that's been great for me. So learning all those little tricks and tips of how to improve that. I'm learning from all these wonderful, talented people. So you were next level. So thank you.